In this video I cover the oil waste separator. I cover first the basic mechanical operation of it, and then I go into a quick electrical familiarization. Before we continue, remember, if you find the material in this video too technical, please watch earlier videos where I cover basic electrical knowledge. Keep in mind that the first 28 videos are best understood if you follow their sequential order. Now, back to our video. Before I talk about the oil waste separator, let's get ourselves familiar with the mechanical part of it. There is oil, and this oil, there is water oil, should I say. So water and oil are both mixed in this oil waste holding tank. And what we want to do is separate the oil and put it into the water oil tank, and the water to dump it over the side. The system has two sensors. Has the oil water level sensor, which consists of 3 rods. 2 rods are shorter than the third one, and then the oil flood sensor, which is only 2 rods. Additionally, has a water valve and an oil valve. If the water valve is open, the oil valve is closed, and vice versa. There is also a water solenoid that when it opens, it adds water to the bottom of the tank. To here, we got 2 pumps. We gotta select which one do we use. And then finally, at the end, is the oil content monitor. The oil content monitor has its own diverter valve, and this system, even though it works in conjunction with this one, that's independent by itself. Now, this is how it works. As water at the beginning, they fill the whole tank with water all the way to the top. And these conductivity rods let the system know that it's filled with water. What that does is will cause this valve to open, this valve to close, as I stated before, and one of the pumps will come on. As the pumps come on, the oil content monitor is going to sample, is going to make sure there is water. As a matter of fact, the oil content monitor, it samples it about 5 times every 30 seconds or so, and it makes sure that there is no higher concentration of oil than 15 ppm, and if that is the case, it dumps the water over the side. If it's oil, because the system is making a mistake, if this made a mistake, then the oil content monitor will command this diverter valve to put the water or the oil back into the oil waste holding tank. Now, as the pumps are pushing water that way, it creates a vacuum in here, and then it will start sucking from the oil waste holding tank, and more liquid that needs to be separated starts to come over here. As you already know, oil is lighter than water, so oil goes to the top, and eventually will saturate these rods that there is not conductivity, and that's how the system will know that there is oil over here. At that point on, this valve will close, and this one, well, will open, and what that's gonna do is, well, allow the path for the oil to come over here. This solenoid valve gets command to open, it gets energized, and it starts putting water at the bottom. As the tank starts to be filled with water again, or higher per se, so well, that water will displace the oil, and it will push all that oil, and that oil will make it to the oil waste holding tank. Once water gets up to the level where it touches the rods, conductivity gets restored, and once again, the process, this valve closes, that valve opens, and the pump will start. That when water is being added to the tank, to the holding separator tank, to displace the oil, from that moment the pump will be stopped. That is when the oil waste separator, it is flooded with oil, and you will get the alarm for it. The oil waste system collects, well, oil and waste, which a lot of that waste is just water. So for that, we have a oil waste separator. So this machine separates water from oil. The oil waste separator, which once again we got over here, it works in conjunction with the oil content monitor, which we got over there, and along with that little box. And the oil content monitor, this valve belongs to it. This valve does not belong to the oil waste separator. Right now we're going to talk about only the oil waste separator, which is that section over there. As you can see, the oil waste separator has two pumps, Alpha and Bravo, and then it has those green valves all the way and there. So one is for oil and one is for water. So whenever it's going to separate water and it's separate water from oil, it opens the valve to, well, dump out water into a proper tank, water tank, all over the side. Whenever it has oil, then it just opens that valve, closes that valve, because so if this one is closed, that one will be open, or vice versa. First closes one, then opens the other one. To know when, because inside here, water rises inside there, and as you know, oil always goes to the top and water to the bottom. To know whether if there is water or oil at the top, we use sensors that are in here. This is the primary sensor, and there are 3 rods down there, which I can only show you a diagram of it. And over here we got the secondary sensor. This is one of the rods. As a matter of fact, the system has 4 of these ones, 2 on the primary and 2 on the secondary. And the primary also happens to have one that is longer. If they are corroded or pitted, make sure you replace them. There is also this water solenoid. This is for priming. This is at the beginning, just puts water, fills it to the top, inside, and then that, when that is filled, and then the pump start, cycling or turning on. The controller, it tells the stage of the oil valve or the water valve. Those are the 2 green valves that I was showing you. Will tell you which one is open, and therefore you can say that the other one is closed. So these lights, they need to better be working. So if you want to know, if you want to rely on that, it tells you which pump is running, and obviously if we got too much oil in the system. Inside, first thing that you will notice is that there are no contactors. That's part of this new technology that's coming in, and we got solid state relays to energize either the pump Alpha or the pump Bravo. Here to the right, this is the EMI filter, which I am highlighting on the right on the schematic. And all it is just filter some EMI interference so that we do not interfere other equipment. The transformers that you see over there, they are all for light indications. So obviously power gets put to the primary, and then they just simply energize, well, these associated lights. Notice that here we don't have any step-down transformers like you will see in some typical setups, because they are there. Now here to the left we got this we call them gem packs, and they get their input in this side here from the 2 rods on the secondary oil detecting system or sensors, and then this from the 3 rods from the primary oil sensing. As you can see, we have overload protection, 1 for each pump, and then we got our auxiliary relays. And the back of it, we see the fuses. Now, this over here is just the incoming power to it. So it'll be 120 volts between here and here. And this is my normally open contact that will only work whenever something gets sensed across those 2, and the G's pack job is to give power from this pin to that pin. Inside we got a very simple motor mechanism that just it's open and closes the valve, and a few micro switches, as you can see. The valves always tell you what position it is. So if this one is closed, like I said before, then that means if I were to look at that one, that would say open.